Hey everybody, welcome. We are live and alive. What are we doing? It's Monday, which means what? It means we're going to go check out Grant Cardone's strategy of the week. We're going to pull some lessons out. I've got 3 action ideas based on Grant's strategy. This week, I'm going to talk about what it was about. I'm going to talk about what I got out of it, and 3 things I'm going to sort of do this week to really dial it in and drive it home, and then you can too. Now, if I keep looking over this way for you on Facebook, know that I've got my phone over here, and we are going live on Facebook Live as well as the Twitter. What's up, Twitter? Okay. How's it going? Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. All right, here we go. So I'm also going to share this on the Facebook. Thank you guys for being here over on the Twitter. Appreciate it. If you're just joining us, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about Grant Cardone's strategy of the week. We're going to be breaking it down, doing a deep dive on it, and making sure that I understand it, you understand it, and what can we get from it that we can take with us into our week. I'm also sharing this on my, put that over there. And sharing a group, sharing my timeline. Start. Hey, can you say, yeah. Well, I don't know if I want to say it. This is live, all right? I guarantee it. And it went away before I saw it and I couldn't pronounce it. You want to post it again? I'll do it again. All right, so here we go. You ready? So here's the question. How much is enough, right? Or to expand on that a little bit more, how much action is required for success, right? But a lot of times you hear that question. You see someone, you take a successful person like Grant Cardone, and they've reached this high level of success, and there's people that are asking that question like, well, how much is enough, right? When is a success? When is enough success going to be enough? How will you Sugma Borals? Hey, Facebook, I'm doing this on Twitter too, so, or maybe it's Periscope. I don't know. What is that anyway? I don't know. So I'm doing both. So if I get distracted, that's why. Squirrel. Okay, here we go. How much is enough? A lot of people use that to try and make sense of their lack of action, them not doing enough, right? So by you saying, hey, how much is enough? I just want to, and then you justify not having as much as you want. You got it. So it's a legit question though. How much is enough, right? You want to know what you're up against. You want to know what you're going towards, right? Unless, of course, you're trying to make sense of not doing it because it's too much, right? Okay, so this is what happened in Grant's strategy of the week. He asked that hard question. Should you be convicted of being too passive? And what does he mean by that? Well, just to be clear, when he talks about you, he means very specifically you. And the strategy of the week is really about you. It's about me. It's about us making sure that we're doing everything we can to create real success in our life. The strategy was designed specifically so you can check yourself before, well, you know the rest. I don't need to finish that sentence, right? Okay. So these are opportunities for us, you, me, to figure out what we need to do to get a little bit better. Okay. So the strategy of this week, it starts off by Grant cites this example, and it's from a horrific story where a man was criminally charged with not doing enough. Okay, and just say that again. This guy was criminally charged with not doing enough. So if you recall, there was a tragic school shooting a few years ago back in Parkland, Florida. 17 people lost their lives, and several others were shot. And the school officer who was on duty was charged with failing, I'm just going to read it to you exactly, failing, declining, or refusing to confront the shooter, okay? He didn't do enough. 6 people died before this guy got into action. And his main job was what? Security. So not only was it a mistake or an error, but I mean, people died. It cost people's lives. So your life, could you be convicted of not doing enough, of not taking action? Okay. How do we relate that lesson to our own personal life. One of the things I love about these strategies is there's typically some type of current event that we can leverage or look back on to teach us a lesson about creating success for us. Okay, so are you personal? Are you doing more than enough? Or are you just sort of taking it easy on the weekends? Is everybody looking for the weekend, just like the song, right? Do we not invest in ourselves? Do we do enough to just get by? Or are we really out there trying to figure out, hey, what can I do to create some real success here, right? So then you start wondering, well, what do I need to do? I want success. I want to create more success. Yes, there's another live stream. It's over on Facebook Live. 10X Goals and Accountability is the Facebook page. That's why I'm back and forth, okay? So how much action is required for success? So here's your first action idea. Here's the challenge is if you have any confusion at all about where your priorities lie, because the number one reason a lot of people don't take more action, don't do more, is the excuse of time. Like, hey man, I don't have time for that. Okay, so how do you handle that? Well, the first thing you need to do is know how you're spending your time right now. So what I want you to do is isolate and identify what you believe your priorities are. You want to create more success in your life, whether that's physically, mentally, spiritually, financially. If you want to create more of it, then you need to know if that's a priority. Okay, then we also need to look at what we are doing with said time. So here's the action idea. If you have any confusions about where your priorities lie, then I want you to inventory your daily activities and then separate that out by what you do the most during your day. And lo and behold, your priorities will present themselves. You'll know exactly where your priorities lie when you look at how you spend the majority of your time. Okay, so that's good news and bad news. Speaking of bad news and good news, is that the answer, though, is that there are no shortcuts. None. Okay, so in order to create real success, you have to have discipline, consistent, persistent actions. And that is more of a determining factor as to whether or not you're going to have real success in your life than any other combination of stuff. Okay, makes sense? So for you to understand and then to calculate how much action you need to take and then actually go out and taking it, knowing and doing, a little different, okay? Having the information about the action required to create success and then actually doing it, the actions, two different things, okay? More often than not, we all fail because we didn't do enough. We're operating at a lower degree of that. We're operating at a lower degree of action, okay? So that brings us to the action idea number 2, okay? So the first one is identify what your priorities really are by inventorying your time, okay? Second thing is, how would you approach your day? This is just sort of a little what if, right? How would you approach your day if it turned out your life and your future literally depended upon your ability to take massive action today? So what I want you to do then is to make a list of measurable, I was just talking to a client about this today. Make a list of measurable actions that you can do in one day that moves you closer to, if not right up next to, your goals and your dreams. So what do you want to do? What do you want to have? What do you want to be? Let's use money as an easy example. The guy was talking today. He's like, man, I need to get $30,000 by December 31st. Perfect. What's it going to take? Other than a miracle. If a miracle is not an option, if winning the lottery is not an option, right? What's it going to take? How much action do you need, right? That means if you're in sales, right? How many phone calls do you need to make? How many customers do you need to get in front of? How many proposals do you need to send out? How many demonstrations of your product do you need to do? What is it going to take? You need to know the numbers so you can then go work it. Make sense? Okay. So that's action idea number 2, which is just how would you approach today if you knew that your future, this is a rhetorical question because the reality is it does, right? If you knew that your future is completely dependent upon what you do today, And isn't that true? Your thoughts, your decisions, the actions you take, what you do every single day is literally going to determine your future. Okay. So once you know where your priorities lie, that's action idea number one. Action idea number two is then come up with measurable things. Hey, did I make my 300 phone calls? Did I get my 4 hours of talk time? Right? Did I do that? Yes or no? And then adjust accordingly. Okay, those are yes or no questions. You either did or you didn't. Okay, if you did, great. How did I do that? What did I do that worked so I can duplicate it tomorrow? Or no, I didn't. What got in the way? And then get whatever got in the way out of the damn way. Okay. So here's the thing. When it comes to getting out, how much action you need to take. The number one problem in sales is what? Who knows it? Twitter? Do you know it? It's obscurity. Okay, so your problem isn't the competition per se. The problem is obscurity. People don't know who you are. They can't do anything with you. Okay, and that's just not in terms of business. I mean, that's in terms of life. Okay, so this brings me right up to action idea number 3. You will know how much action is required for success. You'll know that you've reached that point, right? When you start getting criticism and hate. You'll know you're on the right path. So you want to prepare for that now so that when it shows up, and it will, doesn't throw you off. You can stay on it. You can stay pushing. You can keep grinding. You can stay on it because the criticism and the hate, right? We talked about it at the very, very beginning. How much is enough, man? You're doing so much already, right? How do you know? That's how you know. That is how you know. When people start trying to pull you back, that's when you want to add wood. That's when you know you're on the right track. When you're pushing so hard that people are like, dude, you got to slow down. Okay? So listen to this. This is a quote right out of the Grant Strategy of the Week. Very, very powerful. Listen to it, take notes, and figure out what you need to do in your life to get to this place mentally. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Every time I have been labeled, this is Grant Cardone talking. Every time I've been labeled, it's always been by someone operating at less than massive action. I have never had someone who is more successful than I am considering my excessive action to be a bad thing. Because successful people know firsthand what it takes to achieve this kind of success. So what's the lesson? Nobody that's more successful than him has ever said, dude, how much is enough? No one more successful than him said, you better tone it down, boy. Nobody more successful than him has ever said that, and probably never will. Okay. And if they are, then that they're joking. Right? So when you start taking massive action means making what Grant calls somewhat unreasonable choices and then following it up with even more action. So you know how you respond to the criticism and hate? You add wood. You do more. You keep going. You do not pull back. When you get it, you know you're on the right track. Okay. So if you go to cardonesolutions.com/how much action is required for success, which is the latest post, right? Just find that, cardonesolutions.com, go to the latest post, which is how much action is required for success. If you go down towards the bottom, there's going to be a link. And when you click it, there's a free sales meeting or just team meeting or free video, however you want to get it, on massive action, okay? But this level of action is going to be considered to be, by some, to be a little cray-cray. Probably more than the agreed upon social norm, and it will always create new problems. So I only came up with 3 action ideas. The first one was to inventory your time so you know where your priorities actually lie. The second one we came up with was approaching your day as if your entire life depended upon it, and then coming up with an action plan that your future success is totally dependent upon what you do today. Okay. And then the third one is literally get prepared for the criticism and the hate. But if I was going to give you a fourth one, a fourth mass action idea, something to take with you, is massive action. This is right out of Grant's book, Sell or Be Sold. Massive action creates new problems. So you've got a problem, right? You're like, man, I don't have a lot of money. You start taking massive amounts of action. You're like, man, I owe the government too much money. What problem would you rather have right now? No money at all, or a higher tax bill, right? So your massive action creates a new problem. Okay. So, and the more massive action you take, the more problems you have, and the newer they are, and the funner they are to handle. Trust me. If you're not creating new problems, then you're probably not taking enough action. So that's your litmus test. Do you have some new problems right now? No, you're not doing enough. Okay. And not doing enough is an evolution, right? Because I can sit here now and I'm doing this live stream. I'm doing it on Twitter. I'm doing it on Facebook, on my 10X Goals and Accountability page, plus my own personal page, right? I've probably shared this with a few other folks, okay? I'm not doing enough. I haven't. And I know I'm not. We all know that, right? And I even think Grant would be like, man, I could probably do a little bit more. Okay. So you want to be proud of what you've done so far, but do not be satisfied. The first thing I got from the very first 10X Growth Conference we had was in Miami 4 years ago. 2,500 people showed up. I left that event going, dude, I'm not doing enough. And there's so much more I need to be doing. Okay. And then the next year we do it at Mandalay Bay, 12,000 people. I come home from that, I'm like, I am so not doing enough. Every year I go to this thing, I realize, man, I'm not doing enough. And I continue to level up. I continue to try and do more. I continue to find ways to grow and expand. Because that's a real challenge. You're either expanding or you're contracting. There's no like, it's one or the other. And it's a decision that we make every single day. Okay. So CardoneSolutions.com. If you want to read the entire post, throw some comments my way, ask some further questions. I'm happy to answer them on that post itself. If you have any questions for me personally, you want to reach out, you want to talk about sales and marketing and building your business, 10X Growth Conference, the next one. We're back at Mandalay Bay. Last year at Florida Marlins Stadium, back to Las Vegas. You need tickets for that, please give me a call. We've got some amazing specials going on right now, and I'll tell you all about them, where you can wind up sitting, why you want to go. There's 3 key reasons. Number 1, the experience of it. Number 2, the people you can get around, right? And number 3, the content. So come join us. Tickets, 310-777. You know what? Forget that number. Come right to me, 818-427-5188. That's my cell, 818-427-5188. Shoot an email at david@grantcardone.com. Anything I can help with, anything I can do to serve you and your business and your company, please let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, Twitter, nice to have you. I'm going to come back next Monday. We'll do it again, okay? Thank you, Facebook. See you next week.